Welcome back students. Today we will discuss about method overloading in Java. Now what is the meaning of method overloading? In Java, it is possible to define two or more methods within the same class that share the same name as long as their parameter declarations are different. When a class is defined and it has number of methods and two or more methods can have the same name with the list of different formal parameters. This is known as method overloading. And all the methods that have the same name but different list of parameters are known as overloaded methods. The process is called method overloading. When an overloaded method is invoked, Java uses the type and or the number of arguments to determine which version of the overloaded method to actually call. So when we execute the Java program that contains the methods having the same name but they need to be called, and the formal parameter list is used by the compiler to recognize which overloaded method is to be called, and all the things depend on the number or the type of formal parameters that are defined in the overloaded methods. Now this is the example of a class without having method overloading and with method method overloading. On the left hand side example, you can see we have not defined the class, but suppose a class xyz has these three types of function: add 2, add 3 and add 4. This is not method overloading because all the methods are having different names, but in on the right hand side the example of the class with method overloading is that all the three methods are again defined in the same class, but here add method, all the three methods are having same name, that is add, but the list of parameters, that is the list of formal parameters, are different, means the number or the type of the formal parameters are different here. In the first add method, you can see that int x comma int y, there are two formal parameters of integer type. In the next method of add, there are three parameters x, y, z, and all are of integer type. In the next method add, there are four formal parameters w, x, y, and z, and they all are of integer type. And one thing I would like to tell you that the return type does not matter in the case of method overloading, means here the return type of all the three overloaded methods are same, that is int, and there is no role of the return types in the case of method overloading. Only what depends is the name of the methods must be same and the number or the type of arguments in arguments list must be different. Now what is the use of function overloading? First advantage is we don't have to create and remember different names for functions doing the same thing. For example, in our code, if overloading was not supported by Java, as in the first example on the left hand side, we would have to create method names like add2, add3 or add4, etc. We have seen in the previous example that all the three methods add2, add3 and add4 are doing the same task but their names are different, means we have to remember the names of the method. Suppose I want to pass three parameters, so I need to remember which method to be called. I have to remember the name of the method which supports three number of parameters, or I need to remember the name of the method who supports two or four parameters. But this is the advantage of function overloading, that we need not to remember the names of the methods. Next, the code runs faster as the number of comparisons decrease. See, if I want to make a call to the method add4, we have to check all the methods that which can be called to perform a particular task. But as the as here in this example of add method, the comparison list is reduced because all it depends on the, we have to compare only the list of the parameters, whereas in the case of without using the concept of function overloading, we have to first compare the name of the method and then we have to compare the list of the parameters. But here we need not to compare the name of the parameter, just we need to compare the list of the parameters. And therefore, as the comparisons are left, the complexity of the program decreases. Hence the code runs faster as compared to the methods not using the concept of overloading. One thing also I would like to tell you, that method overloading is also known as polymorphism, because here the methods are having the same name but their behavior is different. That depends on the number of the parameter list. Next is, how can we make a call to the overloaded methods? In this example, example 1 is the name of the class having two instance variables of integer type n1 and n2. Method 1 is example 1, that is a constructor. I think you people remember that when a method has the same name as that of the class, it is known as the constructor. So here first method example 1 is the default constructor and it is initializing the value of the instance variables as 10 and 20 respectively. Next, there are three overloaded methods, because that is a square, because the name of all the three methods are same but they contain different list of formal parameters. First is void square, it does not contain any parameter, it is just printing the square of or the product of n1 and n2. Next is, next square contains one formal parameter of integer type, that is p1, and it is assigning the accepted value p1 to the instance variable n1 and printing the product of n1 and n2. Similarly, the third method square contains two formal parameters and both of integer type p1 and p2. Again, they are assigning the values of p1 and p2 to n1 and n2 respectively and printing the product. Now, from the main method, as you know that the execution of the program begins from the main method, we need, and it is a static method, therefore we need to make the object of the class example 1, because all the three methods square are the non-static methods, and whenever we need to call the non-static methods from the static method, we have to create the object. Therefore we have created the object of example 1 class in the main method and the name of the object is obj1. This is a statement to create an object. Next, we are making a call to the square method which does not have any parameter list, means empty parameters, with the help of obj1, that is obj1 dot square, because in this method calling statement, it does not have any actual parameter, so the mapping of this function call will be made to the first square method that is not having any argument list, and the value of n1 and n2 will be printed as the product, that is 200. Next, obj1 dot square 4. See here, 4 is only passed and it is containing only single actual parameter. Therefore, a direct call will be transferred to the square definition, square methods definition, that is having single formal parameter, that is the second square method, and the value of p1 here will be 4, that because we are passing the actual value or primitive value of integer type to the square method having one parameter. So 4 will be copied to p1 and n1 will be assigned p1, means that is n1's value will be now 4 and the square will be printed. Just after that, obj1 dot square 7 comma 8. Here the actual parameter list contains two parameters and therefore it will transfer the control to the third square method, that is int p1 comma int p2. Here 7 will be mapped to p1 and 8 will be mapped on to p2. Therefore the value of n1 will be here 7 and n2 will be assigned 8 and the product will be printed 7 into 8. In this way the compiler resolves the calling statements depending on the list of the actual parameters that are passed to the methods. I hope this concept of overloading and what is the use of overloading the methods is clear to you. Thank you.